That's how it goes, people. It is a Monday evening. I told you that we have special broadcasts of the podcast because, in part, we are paying homage to the Eastern Cape Film Festival as it celebrates its 10 years in existence, okay? And as a result, I have guests. If you are into film and all of that, stick around. It is season 2. It is episode 14, and I'm not alone. Guess who's in the building? Guess who's in the building, baby? Guess who's in the building?
Hey.
The Queen is here.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a fighter. I'm always like fighting this time of the year because it is that time where we start to feel like we're dreading going to work, like we're dragging our feet. So one has to make an effort, and I'm trying to stay as active as possible just to counter the burnout. Yeah.
Otherwise, might as well tell our people you're not trying to be Kim Kardashian. You just did a.
Well, I mean,
you have the shoe feet, right?
Kuna surgeries that have happened there, so we can't. You understand? We're keeping it all natural. No stress. Just maintain what you have at this point in time.
I feel you. And I'm maintaining a kagalam, so it's all good.
I'm maintaining like it, guys. You just keep it there. Keep it there. Just.
Yeah. At the beach, you're gonna feel like all the bacon you've been eating every morning. How's about that? Oh, that sounds mean, eh?
The regret is going to be coming in every time you see somebody posting with a bikini or with the short. Like,
Tommy, how did you do it?
Then you start thinking, "Oh, wanna buy a show off a little bit." You start to feel, some.
Other kids, she when I late in a gym, she.
And I have been sacrificing sleep. You understand?
Yeah. Queen,
how have you been, man? How have you been?
I've been good. This past weekend, I went to go bury my aunt. Mrs. Msengana. If you remember, there was an accident that was involving a number of people.
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of those people who perished in that accident. So we laid her to rest this past weekend. Apart from the sadness of the whole thing, because it's a shock when you lose someone through an accident, and it's it's unlike when you've been sick and you get time to sort of like say your goodbyes and all of that. But yeah, I guess it was comforting as well to also have your family, people you haven't seen in ages. So I guess for my two cousins, Asanda and Anati, I mean, like I'm sure the weight was a bit lifted a bit. Yeah. But apart from the sadness, remember we said we are trying to change things. We are trying to do things differently. I've just been engaging with different stakeholders, trying to make sure that we move into new studios. Well, get the hell out of my house. And have a proper studio.
I need to move to Joburg very soon so that we can take this thing into one location. How great!
That will be the craziest ever. We spoke about this, right?
Different to that side.
Let's put it to the universe. Have you been learning from the Madlanga? Have you not been listening or here, like watching the Madlanga Commission? All the shit that happens in this province.
Jeez. Oh,
there's that one guy.
It's a lot to take in. Every single day, it's a lot to take in.
There's that one guy who's a what is he? Oh my gosh. Spies was giving is retired. He was giving evidence. It was like a horror thriller. I don't know what to call it. And when you're thinking in the manner like the rot is that deep, like that's just one provincial police department. Can you
But
imagine what's happening in the Western Cape, in the Eastern Cape, and all the other provinces of people who are just going rogue? Like the guy actually forged signatures to give Ket Matlala clearance to, oh my gosh, for the blue lights and all that everybody was talking about. But yeah, we are not here to be all about that, today.
I must be honest, I haven't been watching this week. I haven't been religiously watching. I've just been taking some clips. Um, but what is interesting, I think it goes back to every time we're saying, but we're talking about one department here. What about the other departments? Because we know that
Exactly.
corruption across departments. So started on WhatsApps now. It makes me very
Angry? Yeah.
it makes me very sad. It makes me very sad for us in our country to know when we are sitting in such rot. And what is our role, like? So I don't know what is our role as citizens who are not even in politics, who are not in government offices per se.
Mm.
What is our role? Because I feel like South Africans are also getting hopeless and helpless to such an extent that I think we're becoming a bit numb now, as a reactor, not reactor anymore.
My spirits were lifted up. I'm feeling hopeful. You have all of that information. After I've had the interview with the gentleman, that's what we're going to be delving into, talking about this right here, the G20 Women's Shutdown, which gives me hope. And once again, it's women who are standing up. It reminds me of all of those years of the struggle when the women said, hey, we are banning these passes. You know what I mean? So now it's totally different. And the timing of it all just makes it amazing. It tells you that there's a woman's touch is in there.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
day on the eve of the G20, we are saying we're shutting it all down, baby. We're shutting it down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
I
yeah.
I think it's just yeah, it's a very interesting time to be a woman in South Africa right now, and just to be a human being who really cares about humanity actually is a very interesting time, and I think this is one of the ways that we can take agency and show up.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Look, as I say, like I'm super impressed, like with the timing of it all. I will share when we get to it.
yeah,
I think even going to their website and seeing that, like whether you are paid or it's paid leave that you're taking off, but like you need to make a statement, and this for me is the beginning of us not going to the streets to express how much we are not happy about about how the country's ran or whatever and all of these issues, but to find a constructive and an effective the way. I mean, like we have the budget speech, the medium term budget speech tomorrow from Tatu Kodongwana, and that was very interesting what came out of that. It was very interesting. I mean, in fact, what's on the cards, because
yeah,
apparently we are told that it's going to be speaking to, alleviating, the financial burden on the South African citizen in terms of everyday like food, things like fuel. So I don't know, we might see something that they cook there in the Reserve Bank. So I look forward to that.
yeah, yeah.
But
Definitely anything that going to bring a bit of alleviation. I think South Africa, we want to hear, we want to know, where exactly are we going to feel a bit of relief? Because I think everyone, especially the middle class and the poor, people are feeling really the pinch in terms of the economy.
And this all stems from the fact that like we are, I'm not sure in terms of stats, like numbers, but I know that like we are one of the countries that sit atop when it comes to, inequality in South
Yeah.
Africa. We are one of the most unequal societies. You buy bread for 20 rand. Somebody else doesn't know how much the price of bread costs. You know what I mean? That's how privileged they are. That's how much they don't have to go to the store for themselves, while the bulk of the people are. So I really look forward to tomorrow's budget, just to see what's on the cards for us as South Africans. Yeah. And Lamola, I don't know, like, man, like there's this whole thing with the G20 and Donald Trump not coming. He messed up just the other day when he was trying to refer to South America, and he said South Africa, and he just went on. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say, I don't know. Like, I think he suffers from something. And now Lamola
I thought we were over Donald Trump. I mean, I didn't think whether we really cared whether he's coming or not. I thought he was that time when he was threatening South Africa and all of that. I thought we were kind of like, you know what, he must do what he wants to do for his own country. Because the G20 must continue with or without him, I guess.
That's the thing, because it's almost like what's very interesting about it. It's important that South Africa, like, doesn't ruffle feathers, a lot with the United States of America. But I think one thing that I think the foreign policy government, what do you call it, department, international relations, what they've managed to do well is to handle and send the right messages. If you talk about South Africa, laying charges on Israel and still continuing to trade with the United States of America, and at the same time saying, hey, especially Steenhuisen, I think is ready to go live in China. And it's like, we're not going to drop, the Chinese. We're not going to stop talking to the Russians. So it's a very interesting one. It's a very, very interesting one. Yeah. What else happened? Oh my! I forget. Lisi.
Oh, yes.
100th cap.
I think maybe again, Springboks is one of the other things that makes us forget that we are in this horror movie in this country.
Right.
In fact, not just our rugby team, our national teams actually, Slyso. I think we must give it up to them. They are doing amazing things across the board. Banyana, doing very well. Proud. Our
female
cricket teams. Proteas, yes. I feel very proud when I'm looking at the sport fraternity and being South African. I think on that end, we we have something that we can be proud of, that almost can make us not want to despair, I guess, as South Africans.
Yeah, I think it's also giving us enough motivation to actually finally express our dissatisfaction and our happiness with how certain things and certain fraternities go. I don't know. It's like something about the South African spirit. Like when we are on the back foot, like as a country and the economy, we are on the back foot, but you find that like people on, like sports people, like, and innovation and all other, other spheres, like they're going forth. Like it's like we're taking out our frustration, like when they say that you're frustrated and then you go, go box or go do something. I think that kind of like psyche or element, because we're almost like forgetting about everything else and we're paying attention to the greatness of and the possibility. I think that's what's most important for me. It's almost like the possibilities of a country that is well ran. They won't have to bother about sports. Right? That right education and all the other ones that are ailing. So I think they really do a lot in terms of like trying to get our psyche up. Yeah. So
definitely.
Yeah. We are 19 after 7 o'clock. It's a Monday, and I did say that we have a special edition or special episodes up until the 1st of and beyond. Okay, when Eastern Cape Film Festival starts between the 1st and the 6th of December. It's all happening at the Film Hub in East London. I spoke to Mhlaba last week a founding member. And today, if you remember, we were supposed to speak to the Eastern Cape Development Corporation about the very, very, very beautiful initiative, if you ask me, where they're talking about the Eastern Cape Film Investment Fund. So I've got somebody who's going to unpack it for us at past. But right now, we're going to just have to go to Mr. Mgwigwi right here. He is Mncedi Mgwigwi. Okay. That's who we're going to be speaking to. He is the founder of Baphelele, Africana Asset Management Company, and he's done a lot of work within film. So without wasting any time, we're just definitely going to go and have him on. And there he is, Mr. Mgwigwi.
Molweni.
How are you doing, sir?
I am great. Thank you. How are you?
We are very well. This is Toto, our queen on the podcast. Thobeka, who contributes a lot. We work hard. So we need someone to keep us level-headed. So she handles our specific mental health feature on the show. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet your audience as well. I hope I'll give value through this interview. Thank you very much for having me.
I know you said
you're welcome. Definitely not an interview, but a conversation. We like to just have conversations here, so don't worry. It's definitely not that.
Yeah, we're not putting you in the corner.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mgwigwi, just your interest in the film space, probably when it started.
Oh, okay. Actually, it didn't start up until I met Mhlaba. It was more of a coincidence, I would say. However, I met Mhlaba when I was running a subsidiary entity of the ECDC that was called the Eastern Cape Information Technology Initiative. So the objective of the entity was to assist our entrepreneurs in the Eastern Cape to assimilate into the space as it was emerging then, the 4IR, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, enabling them to be entrepreneurial and to be innovative. So amongst the things then that through assessment that was done, that we discovered was that we needed to have entrepreneurs in the space to be able to meet the policy demands as well as the infrastructural growth that was going to come. So content development and content producers like yourselves, filmmakers, publishers and others became also individuals that we needed to work with, not just IT specialists. I always say to people that the situation as it is prevailing, we are finding ourselves whereby information superhighways are being created, and yet we do not have enough cars to drive on these super highways. So that's how then I got entangled with film.
Wow, I like the analogy, super highways, and now you must go back and still manufacture the cars.
Yeah.
Well, seeing that, like, you've been obviously operating quite a lot with people in the space. Like, just overall looking at the Eastern Cape specifically, where would you say we are sitting compared with other provinces, for an example?
Well, we are far behind. We are lagging behind provinces like the Free State and Limpopo, who are more at our level. You remember that investment in South Africa has always been channeled to what are termed the Golden Triangle provinces, your Gauteng, your Western Cape, and KZN. So those guys, they have the infrastructure, they have the political will to support them in terms of being in a position to advance with content production. As the Eastern Cape, we are not yet there where there is locally or provincially structures that enable filmmakers to do what they are supposed to do. And we do not have strong ecosystems in terms of policy that are able to link with what exists in terms of what are national policy frameworks.
Very interesting. And what kind of typical publisher, content creator, anyone who wants to be in this space, like in your view, do you think can do to sort of like meet this superhighway, like, you know, halfway?
Yeah, well, it's very difficult because it's an investment-heavy space. So you need to have the right kind of tools to be able to produce content. However, that does not mean that people should rest on their laurels. As I said earlier on, innovation during this age, the 4IR age, is one of the key elements. Creativity, that is. So what is needed now is creativity more than ever. So given that we do not have the best support regimen to assist, we need our people to be creative. You would know then that we no longer now have to apply to broadcasters to have content broadcasted. I see yourself, Slyso, by having this channel. You know, you did not apply to ICASA, you know, to have your channel. So people need now to be extremely creative. We know that the best content producer there is, Kabilame, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, does not even say anything, and yet he's the one who's making most money and the most followed micro blogger there is in the world. So what is needed is creativity, and people, given how the Eastern Cape is, its dynamism in terms of culture, specifically, you know, they can be creating content that could be viral to start with, and then maximize on that. I think one of the best guys that we have in the province is a gentleman they call Sicele Mamle, who has an enterprise he calls Mandolwan. You know, and I think he's done extremely well in terms of that. Unfortunately, even him, you know, at some point he felt that he was not getting the right kind of support in the province and had to go and establish himself in KZN. You know? So that's why then we need people like Mhlaba with the Eastern Cape Film Festival. Uyathanda-ke ubalisa how he left Joburg to come to the Eastern Cape and change things. And I was saying to him 5 years down the line after I met him, that guy, this story is redundant now. You can't be coming from Joburg every but anyway, you do need, yeah. Sorry.
It's an omnibus.
yeah. So, but you do need people with vision, people who want to see this transformation happening, people who can pull institutions together to work on transformation. So when you look at the Eastern Cape Film Festival, 10 years down the line, as our theme says for this year, it starts with a dream. You know, it really started with a dream with Mncedi, and at the point I was with ECT, we assisted that dream to come alive, you know. And Mhlaba is some form of an instigator himself. He didn't dream just for himself, you know. He wanted to bring on board other filmmakers as well. So the way the festival then it's meant to be more of a showcase of films from within the province. However, it's meant to be a culmination each year of all the film activities that have taken place. Hence, then it's held this very late in the year. So that's what then the space requires, as you were asking. It requires innovators, it requires dreamers, it requires people who want to see things happening to bring about the shifts that we are all looking for.
Just quickly looking at Mvuselelo Africa, and your asset managers, you're also involved in film as well. Just share a little bit about it before we direct creatives towards your company, and you're like, hey guys, no, it was just this one project now.
Okay. No, thank you. As I said, well, Slyso, you would know me because you and I go back a long way. I started my career as a journalist, and my main thing was more curiosity more than anything. However, being a curious individual, you'll always hit a glass ceiling, if you get me, where you get bored with what you are doing and you want to do the next thing. So my career basically moved from a newsroom to being a government spin doctor to being an official in an academic institution whereby I was part of the marketing and communications team. And that was a very rich space for me because I was exposed to faculty, you know, academics and their way of thinking, how they saw and processed knowledge, you know. However, there was some form of a limitation there. So in my wonder, I started a company then hoping for something better than what I was doing with the University of Fort Hare. That was my employer at the time. However, as a family man then, overheads still were an issue. So I had to quickly strike a balance between what was passion and what was my reality. And I went back to government. And as fate would, I got a job offer that was a huge eye opener for me with the East London ITZ. There was an initiative there that was called Innovate Eastern Cape, which was more meant to again align the province with the 4IR, but sort of activate innovators in the space, and the space being the Eastern Cape then. So one of the things that happened there was we hosted here in the province an international event, which was the Global Forum on Innovation and Technology Entrepreneurship. And when these guys came from all over the world to East London, and they were talking about things that I had never heard before. I mean, I was chasing 40 at the time, but these guys are here talking about things that I've never heard before. I thought this is definitely a space to explore. So that's how I got then to what is termed intellectual assets management, which is more of knowledge management and interpretation of that knowledge and turning it into financial assets. You know, how to equitify what you are dreaming, you know, the whole value chains then that talk to the management of that dream from just something in your head to balancing your bank account, you know. So the Eastern Cape Film Festival has been one then of the client that has stuck with me, because when I left ECT, Mhlaba felt that I would be the best person to assist him to make his dream real. So that's what I've been doing then with my clients. It's one of those, I would say, careers that are all needed, because everyone is talking about financial assets. Everybody's being advised on how to handle their money. But for me, if you are being assisted with handling your money, you need someone who's going to assist you to make the money.
To make the money. Yeah. Mr. Mgwigwi, I'm just going to cut you very shortly. We will probably continue just after we've spoken to our next guest.
Sure.
I mean, like you highlighting the issues that like creatives and, you know, people in the space have been suffering, and where people like you, I'm sure there are more Mr. Mgwigwis out there who see these people with dreams and really want to assist them. And I think one of those people, not even people, but an institution that actually realized that it comes in the form of our next guest, which we're going to bring up, which is Mr. Baphelele Mhlaba. A seasoned strategist, a policy advisor, a project management and executive on, you know, on broad experience in governance. He's with the Eastern Cape Development Corporation, because I'm sure that people have been knocking and it's given to a manufacturer, and somebody says like, hey, what about the golden economy? And I think they got to a point where they say in Dokbana, like, actually, we are ready to actually pursue this. And I actually have him right here to join us this evening to talk about very interesting. Mr. Mhlaba, let me say good evening and welcome to you.
Good evening, Slyso, and good evening to Tops and Mr. M, as Mhlaba would call him. Yeah.
Mr. Mhlaba, I'm not gonna keep you at all. Look, it was exciting for me when I learned and came across it on social media platforms and obviously on your website, which we check every now and then, to find that like you have an initiative that is looking. For me, it was brilliant in the sense that it speaks to or responding to what creatives or the film industry in South Africa or in the province needs, but it also speaks to tourism. You know, it's multifaceted as far as I'm concerned. How did this whole Eastern Cape Film investment fund come about?
Yeah, it's been a few years now, but probably just to cut the long story short, about 20, goodness me, I wish Mhlaba was here. So around 2015, 16, so Mhlaba found me in that other office that I used to be part of, and we started discussing what this, as you put it, the golden economy, what it could potentially do for us as a province. At the time, we tried the best that we could to try and look for mobilization of resources. I mean, we were chasing shadows at the time, and then around 2018, I was in my former life then as the chief of staff to the premier, and the ECDC actually brought to us around actually this time of budget adjustments. At the time, the executive was Thabo Shenxane, and Thabo brought to us well-packaged proposals around what we could do with film. And the business plans were proper. And we presented this to the Treasury, and looking at the quality of the documents that were put on the table, for the first time, the Eastern Cape Treasury actually gave a nod to the film sector. And that then started the idea that we could actually fund film. It had not been done before in our province, and I think Mncedi says, look, we're lagging behind in many aspects, but through the fund, we've been trying to close those gaps. There are some gaps actually that ought to, for instance, be closed by a film commission, which would then allow for most of this work to be done quite a lot more before somebody says, I'm ready, I need funding. Because by the time a filmmaker says, I need funding, we take to it that most of the work has already been done, especially around preparing towards commissioning. And so from around 2019, the ECDC has been putting together some form of funds to be made available to fund the sector. And there's been, and I must say, Slyso, there's been some good productions that have come out of the support that the ECDC has put forward. I mean, if you can, I think, interview people like Thobeka. Jamil has done through Yellowbone Entertainment. Him and his partner have actually done quite a lot of productions, shot some actually award-winning films in the Eastern Cape, from Sue the Winter to My Skin, and I think Sue the Winter to My Skin premiered in Toronto. It was shot here in the province with our support. Knuckle City, we were in the production in 2018 of Knuckle City with the then MEC, actually, the then MEC Mabuyane, who's now the premier. And it was around starting this recognition that we may not have gold in the Eastern Cape, we may not have silver, we may not have diamonds, but we have our people. And our people are quite creative. And if you are unable as a province to fund our heritage, the telling of our stories, most of what we have is always going to be limited by depending on somebody else. And what we've realized is outside of everything else, we're not doing any favor to the film sector because our stories are commercial stories. We've just supported now the telenovela which was shot in Gqeberha the Empire. It's also been part of what ECDC has made contributions to, and we want to actually do far much more telenovelas, and I can tell you that there's another one that is in the pipeline that we're looking at, where we're actually using the fund in partnership with other funding instruments, because the fund itself doesn't work in isolation. When you bring your production to us, you at least need to have some of other backing, because we de-risk the project, but we don't fully fund the project, as it were, because we're working with limited resources. But otherwise, there's quite a lot that we've done. I mean, there's been productions, even Ekomani, that have come out of Komani, exciting productions, Queenstown Kings, and other productions that have been shot in the Eastern Cape. We even, tried our bit with Survivor Series. The 2 seasons that were shot in the province, thanks to my colleagues at the ECDC at the time, backed those up. And this has been part of what we want to make as a contribution to the sector. But it's not everything. The creatives will have to actually tell us. It won't be us actually, Sizuzibethela mpempe up, sizenze ngcono. yeah, the creatives will have to tell us about, are you guys, making a difference? Because from where we sit with the little resources we have, we're doing something. I mean, the next stage, if in my time, what I actually want to see is putting the right film infrastructure in place. If we can have in the Eastern Cape studio productions, that the infrastructure in the different centers of the Eastern Cape, that would actually give creatives far much more latitude to produce at any given time, and without bringing equipment outside of the province. Those that choose to make the Eastern Cape their home, as
You,
far as this sector, we want to make sure that they are at least covered.
yeah, as you say that, it I think it was 2 weekends ago, I said, I'm not going to mention names, with a former producer, Good Generations, and
Okay.
I was asking, Tata, what are you doing now? Why are you so quiet? Why am I not seeing you? It's like, I'm working on something. I'm just missing A, B, C, and D. And I've been taking this time, and I'd already come across like this literature around, like, the whole investment fund. And I'm like, if you were to be asked to go back to the Eastern Cape, because it's based here and is from across the Kai, I'm still not going to mention names. Some people will know. He says to me,
Okay.
so good. If they were to ask me tomorrow, I will go back. And I'm thinking,
Okay.
like, we have so much gold. When you talk about, what you would like to see, some level of infrastructure where filmmakers and all of these people don't have to step out of the province, whether it's sourcing equipment or whatever, or talent. This is going to be an ongoing conversation. Hopefully, up until the 6th, we're going to have this every Monday, talking about celebrating this beautiful initiative. And obviously, you as ECDC, having come on, you will have the opportunity, yours Betela Lembembe, because I know that most times as people, we have this this thing that, like, yeah, government is not doing this, or if they're doing something, it's like, why didn't they do it like this way? So we are hoping that we a platform that will actually invite people like you, so that Sibete Lembembe, so that we can see the difference, because we get lost in what we share on social media platforms, without actually finding out more about what is being done, what contribution has been made to the economy. If this fund, how much is it going to unlock in other sectors, and as well. I know that you have to run. You have a few minutes, but if you can just share a little bit about the film investment fund, possibly, like, lightly, like, around the criteria, and if there are closing dates or such. I know that, for an example, which was exciting, which I found to be speaking to tourism, was the whole thing that, like, at least 50% of your production has to be done in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
So driving
Yeah.
the tourism into the province.
Yeah, look, Slyso, so we're caught between a rock and a hard place. In the creative space, what is deemed commercial may not be viable today. And in fact, I think, without being subjective, you actually rely a lot on experience. So the grading system for applications, other than the fact that obviously we're biased, whatever we fund in the province, we want to make sure that it happens here in the Eastern Cape. All right, so we've put that kind of threshold. Initially, it was 60%, and we would love to keep it at 60%, right? But now, obviously, the minimum is that 60%, that the total production expenditure must be spent in the Eastern Cape. We're saying at least 50% of the principal photography must take place in the Eastern Cape. And 60% of the goods and services procurement must be allocated to Eastern Cape-based suppliers. And obviously, because we're emerging in the sector, so your training and skills transfer are compulsory for each of the funded productions. We also want the producers to employ job shadows, get local filmmakers to job shadow them when they're actually doing this thing. So the funding feasibility is kind of maintained. It's credit basis marketing, it's premier events. So we're not just doing the support for the actual production. Even when your production is ready to premiere, then we extend that further support. And because we rely on experience, we've kind of like graded, we have a graded system for applications where at tier 5 we have aspirant. These are
Wow.
first-time entrants, no formal film experience, and Bonake, the interventions that we do for them is training only. Then we've got tier 4, which is entry level, that's 0 to 3 years of experience. That's like internship roles, and for that tier, we look at microfilm funding, and then we've got tier 3. These are emergent now. These are 4 to 7 years experience. Again, we're looking at microfilm and production funding, and then tier 2 is intermediate. These are guys that have already done 1 or 2 previous productions. There we can start talking about microfunding and production funding.
Wow.
And then at tier 1, these are established guys. Some of them I've spoken about them, and these are proven producers that have done 3 to 5 theatrical or TV releases. For them, then we do full production funding. So to your point, and I'm quite glad that you're opening the platform for further engagement, because there's probably 1 or 2 Mondays before the film festival. We want to come back and take it a little bit further. But I do want to say the leadership of the Eastern Cape in the province has said between now and 2029, which is this term of government, we call it the 7th term of government. We've got 7th
Yeah.
term. This is the 7th one since 1994.
Yes, certainly. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. It's just that you don't look that old, so definitely you would not have voted for 7 times. But
I'll let
so
Mr. Mgwigwi respond to that one.
so kule period, we've taken tourism as a growth frontier. We've also taken digital economy as a growth frontier. So 2 of the pillars back up film production, and they back up the film sector. And what we're trying to do now is to make sure that wherever we're talking about digital economy, we'll talk about film, right? And this is one of the things that we want to bring to the film festival, to bring the digital economy of the digital economy strategy of the province and talk about it there. And then the tourism one, we've done destination marketing for quite a bit. I mean, we've even produced a booklet which we would make it quite available. And it begins to geospatially paint the beautiful Eastern Cape from Tsitsikama to the mountains of Ukahlamba in Jogabi, where I come from. And it speaks about capability of what you find in the east of the province when you get to your Port St. John's and those areas that are quite mountainous. They give you all kinds of things that you can be able to do in the Eastern Cape. The idea that we have is we want to have productions running throughout the year, where our creatives that are residing in the Eastern Cape can be busy throughout the year, because we know, I mean, production times are quite limited. But ingaske uthi xa ugqiba enye production, ube so ready to step into another role elsewhere. Just have breathers in between, but the breathers must not necessarily be because you don't have opportunity. The breathers must be because you want to get out of another role and get into another role. So there's quite a bit to talk about, and we're happy to participate in the series of conversations, and we are happy to be associated with the Eastern Cape Film Festival, the 10th celebration. And I really want to give a good thumbs up to the guys that have from nothing, Slyso. These guys have kept this thing going for 10 years.
For 10 years.
Most of us would have given up, but these guys have, with the little that they have, they've kept this thing going. And that's the kind of hustle that we're happy to back up, because we know they're not going anywhere. They've been doing this thing and they're in it, and we'll go and fight for them and to get more funding to be made available for the sector.
Wow. Mr. Mhlaba, thank you so much for those words. And I also want to thank you in advance for making sure that the Slyso TV podcast is going to be covering the festival between the 1st and the 6th. And I don't know whether my colleagues have a word or two before we actually let you go. And we certainly will be following up on each and every need. Toto, I don't know if you have any... Just quickly.
No, I just think I mean it's wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity for. I'm thinking about my students. I'm always thinking about opportunities for young people. Something that they can actually check out. The ones that are aspiring to be in the film industry. I know I have a lot of content creators there by the university.
She's at university, by the way. She works there.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that I will be talking to my students about that I know want to venture into that to kind of like look into. Abasa Eastern Cape, it's also nice to have opportunities, for young graduates in the Eastern Cape. They don't always have to look outside the province. So beautiful.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Tobes.
Yeah, Mr. Mgwigwi?
Yeah, no, for me, I think perhaps the major thing is our ability to celebrate achievements of government. The first support that went to the Eastern Cape Film Festival came from ECT, which was a subsidiary of ECDC. Had they not harnessed the initiative, then we wouldn't be talking about the initiative 10 years later. There have been other regional departments like Sarah Bartman that have also shown support to the festival. So for me, the key thing, I think where this thing normally and ECPEC as well, where there is a lack is when there is no coordination between the various government entities, to enrich initiatives and make sure that they thrive. So key for me is that the film festival has achieved quite a lot, specifically in terms of ensuring that filmmakers within the province are mobilized and are part of an ecosystem, so there is that inclination towards economic growth within the sector that is anchored by a film ecosystem. So one of the key things then, when we spoke about the pillars of development for what we termed then the film production economy, was what Mr. Mhlaba has referred to, government policy. How do we make it a point then that every institution of government, every sphere of government thinks about the support for this sector? So I'm actually quite pleased to learn that film now is part of the identified growth pillars. So key for me, I just want to highlight the four pillars that we had identified as being cardinal to ensuring that the sector succeeds. Government policy definitely, and we are glad now that the ECDC is like completely in sync. They have not been completely lost to us. It's just that they became competition at some point.
We won't go there tonight.
No, we won't. Yeah. So, okay, as is already mentioned, again, the infrastructure aspect and the resourcing, that is very cardinal, as well as the capacitation of filmmakers. I think one of the challenges that we sought to address quite earlier on was the issue of capacity through the film forums. And we had engagements with film makers in regions. So we are hoping then that the legacy step of the Eastern Cape Film Festival that has been kept alive throughout, which is the Eastern Cape Film Forum, will continue and will be in a position to link the regional offices of the ECDC with filmmakers in regions to ensure then that when again next year we talk about the culmination of activities through the film festival, we would have had other activities that reflect on these pillars. Definitely the last one then is access to markets, and the ECDC does well then in terms of assisting entrepreneurs with that. So the key for me would be how do we mainstream Eastern Cape filmmakers as well, so that they can be assisted to go to other festivals nationally, continentally, and internationally for them to be able to sell their products, because films are products. But key with that then is the aspect of the quality of the products, and the capacitation aspect then is what we need to address quite earlier on if we are going to want to engage then markets outside of the province. Yeah, thanks.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mgwigwi. And obviously, Mr. Mhlaba, we have to let you go. He is the acting executive for economic development, trade, and investment promotion at the Eastern Cape Development Corporation. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys, and thank you so much. I did want to talk about Rabbit Tops, but next time. There's a film in that rabbit thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Certainly. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Good evening.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Sure.
All right. There you have it, man. Yeah. Mr. Mgwigwi, thank you so much for indulging us, and obviously I think right up until as I said, the 6th of December, we are gonna keep calling on you because you have been very instrumental, and now we are talking about a festival that is able to invite people from as far as the UK to actually have a world film premiere that's going to be taking place, during this 10th celebration or anniversary of the Eastern Cape Film Festival. So I think at this point in time, I'm also gonna allow you to enjoy the remainder of your Monday evening and make sure that your planning for the remainder of the week is like proper and on point. But thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you to you. I'm glad that you are on board as well, so that we achieve the objective of the Eastern Cape Film Festival, which is telling our stories through film, being in a position then to amplify the voices of our people, our heritage, and instigate innovation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That is Mr. Mncedi Mgwigwi. Of course, founder of Mvuselelo African Asset Management Company. Our channels use diverse experience to build future-ready legacies. It's very interesting. One would sit and look at the assets, and the only assets we're thinking about are like movable, and you're not thinking that they are intellectual. Also, to find yourself in that space, or people who are just before I let you go, as something that I learned, when someone was talking about, the 4IR, and, the whole emergence of the internet and content creation and how business models have changed. And someone said, you know what, Slyso, the people who are going to be making money, they might not necessarily be the creatives and all of those people, but because we have so much information, whether you're talking kindergarten kids, you're talking there's so many videos, they're available in all kinds of places. Without you curating So the data miners and the curators of this vast information that we have, those are the people that I think and I found your company to be speaking to. So I want to take my hat off to you as well for that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tim.
Yeah, nice interview. Thank you, gentlemen and lady.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. There we go, Queen.
Sure. Very, very rich conversations and very inspirational. Very inspirational. I mean, it's always beautiful to talk about things that are inspiring in the province. You know, Eastern Cape is always kind of looked down on for some reason. So it's very, very nice for us to be able to have something to look forward to, and for young people, for me, I think I'm much more excited about young people, young creators, who can actually just go and experience the film festival, look at the possibilities, look at how they can get involved. It's nice to have something for the Eastern Cape, and inspire, obviously, filmmakers as well. I mean, get to know what funding is there, how do they access it, what do they need in terms of making sure that they are tapping into those opportunities. We can't run away from the fact that any dream, nothing happens without funding. I think that's why a lot of people then venture out of the province, because there's the frustration of, well, I for support. So here we go. This is a very beautiful initiative, I think.
Yeah, no, super exciting, and word prepped, but like obviously people can go to the ECDC website if they're looking for information around it. Filming in the Eastern Cape, it's available on their website, and these are just some of the pages that I thought I should pull out, because just for people to have an idea of what's of what is available out there. Unlocking your potential, and obviously all of this being alleviated by the fact that like you have so much support. And I love the Mr. Mhlaba when I was highlighting that, like, it's it's different tiers, so which means let's say I'm a budding filmmaker, they're not accommodating me. No, there is a tier for you. If you are advanced and you're like, oh, why am I coming to this thing? That's for people who are starting out in the industry. So it's well thought, and I think it calls for us. Initiatives like this are for us to actually laud and to speak of. So you can just go to the ECDC website, like they give you, like, for an example, got a production, here's how to qualify for funding. So as they were saying, secure 60% plus of your own, and then they come in, so just go through it. You certainly will find something that will speak to you there. And I think at this point in time, all that we are left with is for us to go to that beautiful feature that we are proud of. And certainly I'm actually going to change all my social media platforms, because I saw some people, I was like, okay, why are we not seeing faces? And that on its own for me is the brilliance of the campaign.
Yeah.
Like, why is like 4-6 of my friends
It's also now really saying, Bana, you don't have to be in a particular location. Activism and awareness now, we're bringing it here into the device that you have. You can you can participate by just simply changing your profile. You are taking a stand. You are sending a message about this thing. So let's talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. You can also be a developmental crisis issue. Keep pushing and stay the course. Hey, my beautiful people, we are back. The Queen is back. And of course, you know, we would like to keep things upbeat, but unfortunately, we also have to take life serious because there are serious things happening in the country. And so today I wanted to just dedicate the Momo session to the initiative that Women for Change have actually to join them, you know, in making sure that this initiative actually takes place, you know, is a success. So if you're wondering, why has everybody's profile gone purple? What does this mean? Is there a ghost that's happening? No, my darling, no, my dear, you are behind. We are back again, as we have been, continuing to fight the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide in South Africa. And because things are not getting better, Women for Change came together and said, look, we have got to really continue to press on, right? We cannot keep quiet as if nothing is happening when we see that, you know, on a daily basis, women are being killed, children, girls are being killed, you know, women are being raped, you know, boys are being raped as well. And it's very, very important for us to not just depend on you know, certain people. It's very important for South Africa to call on all South Africans to join hands and make sure that we amplify this fight against gender-based violence. And really, this time is slightly different. We have been marching, we've been doing, you know, advocacy work, we've been raising awareness around GBV, we've been doing education, we have been, you know, doing walks, but this one is different. This one is different because Women for Change has said to all the other organizations that, you know, do work around GBV activism and advocacy and support, you know, they said, let's come together and let us take a stand. And this is the idea, to have a national shutdown, to declare gender-based violence and femicide a national disaster. It has come to that point that we're saying, no, it's not just a pandemic. It is a national disaster. Why? Because women contribute to the economy of this country. This country is running, you know, in some industries, you know, in communities and families because of women. And so what this initiative is about is to say, we are calling on a national shutdown on the 21st of November, and we are saying that you are going to take a stand against gender-based violence where you are. You know, you can join a group of people that are going to be marching in, you know, in the location that you're going to be in, or you can actually join the campaign online. There are many ways that you can be part of this movement and be part of this and this march and national shutdown by, you know, making sure that on the 21st you are not at work. You know, you can either take that as a, you know, leave so that you can participate, or you can, you know, you can just take it as unpaid leave. You can, you know, post or change your profile picture to purple, and on that day, what we are doing is that we're no longer going to be singing, we're no longer going to be marching and shouting, and, you know, it is going to be a silent march. And this is symbolizing, we're sending a message to symbolize that when women are no longer part of the society, then the government must see what that is going to be like. Then men must see what that is going to be like. It's going to be a very powerful day, and we're calling up on everyone that really cares about women, everyone that really cares about young children, everyone that really cares about the LGBTQI community, everyone that cares about people who are vulnerable, that have been violated sexually, people that have been killed that we know of, to actually back this up. In one of my videos on the TikTok, I actually says that you might think that you have a choice, to not participate. And maybe you do have a choice, you can decide. But the thing about GBV is that it will remind you that you don't have a choice, because Ngomso, it could be your sister who's killed. It could be your son who is raped, It could be your daughter. It could be your mother. It could be someone that is close to you that is brutally killed. So we're not doing this because we think we have a choice. We're doing this because there is no other. There is no other way, that we can continue to allow women and girls and boys to be violated, to be killed in this country. The statistics speaks for itself. And when we say gender, we mean all genders. I see there's a response that is very toxic and negative that is coming up from men, complaining that, women don't talk about, the fact that men also get violated, and, boys, and it's very, very disappointing to have people come and talk about that, because it is the very women who will go to court, to march for no bail when a boy has been raped. It is the women who will do the support. It will be women who do the marching, So I think we need to have men shift their mindset, and understand that gender-based violence is not about women. It's not women's violence. It's not female violence. Yes, the majority of perpetrators are men. That one we cannot run away from. And the majority of victims are, females, women, and young girls. That one we cannot run away from. But because of that, we are not dismissing the fact that boys are violated also, boys are killed also. But again, the majority of perpetrators are males. Right? And what we also don't see is that the males who are not perpetrators, the males who are not violent, the males who are not abusers, are very passive, very, very passive. And so we are calling upon them as well to join this. You cannot say, well, there we go again, and there's nothing that you are doing on your end. So the Women for Change is an organization that supports victims of gender-based violence, or survivors rather, and the same they do the same work that the foundation that I'm part of, the Winnie Mngwigwi Foundation, do, supporting survivors, supporting families, and raising awareness and making sure that we know. Slyso, I don't know if people understand that if these organizations don't bring these stories to the fore, we won't know how many women are killed on a single day. I mean, just in a couple of weeks, we had a student, Nelson Mandela, killing themselves because a perpetrator was given bail. We have a student, or a teenager, who was brutally killed by ex-boyfriend Nitomi Yake. We have a boy that has been raped, being violated, who are now, and caught in the East London court seeking bail. So, and these are few stories that make it to the media, that make it, to public. There are so many stories that don't get publicized of rape, of sexual harassment, of people being killed. So what this is about is to say that it can no longer be a thing of, we're just talking about stats here. We're talking about, we need to acknowledge that if nothing is being done and government doesn't take this seriously, that's why we're saying it's a national disaster, because girls don't have a future, You know, it means that girls don't have a future in South Africa. It means that young children don't have a future in South Africa because at any point in time, umntanakho will go out of endlini and could not come back, Slyso. You know, that is the reality. So we are then calling on a really real change in terms of policy, in terms of action as far as government is concerned. Government has been very passive. You know, there have been policies that have been, you know, approved, but the implementation has been very, 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 very disappointing. And what this cause is saying is that on that day, all we're calling for is for women to not be active, to literally symbolize what death looks like, so that people can actually understand what it means to not have a voice of a woman on that particular day, to not have a woman contributing to the economy. That's what we are trying to do. We're saying, let the women not participate. You don't drive to work, you stay at home, you know, you post, wearing black. We are in mourning. That's what we're saying. We've lost too many lives, and we can't continue to just posting hashtags, rest in peace, enough is enough. Clearly, we've seen that those don't work. So this is a different call. That's what I'm saying, that it's a bit special because, as you said, Slyso, it does seem like that walk where they were, you know, saying enough is enough when it comes to it. We're saying, but enough is enough for women to be marching every single month, every single week, you know, because somebody was killed by a boyfriend, by a loved one, or a child was violated, sexually molested, abused by a trusted somebody. And so this is what we are going to be doing to really amplify the voice when it comes to GBV. Yeah.
That's her story.
She's taking to it.
Great. Thank you so much, Queen. Like I am, look, I'll be asking you questions like you have no answer to. I see the color. Obviously I haven't read up. I just looked at how can I participate, and I mean, like, if you're watching, you are seeing it there on the screen. What color is that? Because I wanted to change it, and be one of those forward ones that actually. But I'm like, now I'm looking, where do I get this color? What color is it? Man, color blind.
So this is purple. This is definitely purple.
This is just plain purple.
It's different kinds of purple, so you can get different shades of purple. It's purple.
Gents, this color is purple.
It's purple.
Okay.
It's purple. I've seen guys posting green color. A green. Okay.
This is not green. No.
But Slyso, there's another conversation that I don't want to be part of. I don't want to get into that conversation because it's a conversation that is distracting us from what we are trying to achieve and trying to do. Defensive kind of response from male. It's like that thing where men are trash, and then people say, look, no, not all men, but we know that not all men. We know that, Black lives matter, and then I matter. Well, all lives matter. Yes, we know all lives matter. So I hate when people come up with those, unnecessary defensive, responses, because you are missing the point. You are missing the point, and the point is that the G in the gender is for all genders. Is to recognize that all genders can be harmed. Okay, and that's why it must be everybody's mandate to participate. There is also a petition that you can sign, I think on the Women for Change website. That's another way that you can go there and click on the link and sign the petition. And of course, there are different, because again, we recognize that some people, for whatever reason, might not feel comfortable to get involved in a certain way. So that's what I said, there's no excuse here that you cannot back up and be part of this movement, because there are so many ways that you can get involved. I mean, just click, change your profile and turn it purple. You've already taken a stand, and you've shown your support, not just to the organization. I think that's the other thing that we need to get over. We must not to be so stuck on who's arranging this thing, who's organizing this. It doesn't matter. What matters is what is the cause about, and the cause affects us all. If gender-based violence affects us all directly or indirectly, even if you think that it doesn't affect you, it does affect you. Whether you want to acknowledge that or not, that's another thing.
Yeah, very interesting for me is that I mean, like if you look there, you will see that there's an official employer letter. So they say use this letter to formally request paid leave.
Paid leave, yeah.
From your employer, and to take part in the G20 Women's Shutdown. So basically, that could be a manner in which your employer is supporting by making sure that they are not saying it's going to be unpaid leave. So when they say it's unpaid leave, it's almost like they not in support of the initiative.
Yes.
But there are already letters. I think there's one to employer. There's a couple of them. One to schools. Obviously, people at tertiary level and other organizations as well, where you actually just download, the letter. I mean, like I haven't downloaded it, but obviously it will basically, in a nutshell, make sure that your employer is aware, and they should, if they are in support, give you paid leave on that day. It's going to be very interesting. I looked at the day as well. It is the 21st, right?
Yes. So it is the day just before, I think the G20 summit.
The G20 summit. So now I'm thinking that, like, since we're going to have the podcast like every Monday up until after the festival, I'm like thinking to myself, what if it falls on a Monday? And we have to have Toto, and she comes in and...
If I come in, then I'm definitely not participating.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I'm glad that it's going to be happening on a Friday and not on a...
coming in because that's what this means, is that this is the we are in mourning that day. So if you are showing up, even if, let's say at work, you are in a situation, we know the predicaments that people work under. If you do happen to show up in black. That's what we're saying. Show up full black, because uzilile. And that particular day, your interactions are not going to be the same, because you are...
I feel you. So even if you are forced and you have to be there, there is some manner in which
that
you can support or amplify the voice. That's very interesting. I have to say, we sit with South Africans saying that, like, now we are full of this, we are full of that, and I'm going to take the first step in doing so, because now the timing of it all. Before all of these nations, they will be traveling into South Africa on that particular day, some of them, so it's going to be very interesting. Who knows? Some of them might be suffering the same, in their countries of origin. So you might find, some delegates taking part in this. And also looking at an initiative where you say, like, do not go to work. Because I've always said you need to hit the people that are hard of hearing as far as government is concerned, by making sure that you don't support, because like somehow the production on that particular day is going to be affected, whether you like it or not. I'm so happy. I'm excited. Like, right. You don't need to convince me to be part of it, not only just from the creativity, the timing of it all, but the reason why we are doing it. The reason why we are doing it. And obviously we had mentioned, I think it's going to be the last story before we shut it down. It's the South African, us South Africans, that are battling high food and fuel costs. Apparently, we could get some relief if the Reserve Bank's calculations are right, and that's going to come in the form of the medium-term budget speech by the minister, Godongwana. Minister of Finance there. It's very interesting. I'm just going to read through a little bit on the story. The markets will be watching, obviously, the Finance Minister, Godongwana closely when he delivers the medium-term budget policy statement on November 12th, which is
on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Monday today.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
The 12th,
the 12th is on Wednesday. So we are certainly looking forward to that. And they say that Wednesday's budget is likely to bring the cost of living into sharp focus, with economists saying he could back a plan to lower the country's inflation target range. The South African Reserve Bank Governor Lisat, I don't like mispronouncing people's, but I'm going to speak to Governor Khanyago. Okay. There has been pushing to lower the inflation target from the current 3 to 6% range to a flat 3%. So, which should be relief for us South Africans, especially the hardest hit. So, bit of bad news, a bit of good news to the end of the podcast today, Queen.
Yes, definitely. We definitely need some kind of relief. I can tell you we do. I mean, the other day I was reading an article and we're just talking about food prices and how food prices have gone like really sky high this year, just this year, and making it very difficult for poor households to afford just basic food items, Slyso. And you can just imagine if people are going to struggle just to buy basic, just ubisi, isonka. It just tells you when we are really in trouble. And I mean, we are a country that has food insecurity problem, so I can only imagine what really is happening in those households. So this is definitely, I think, a relief that we are looking forward to, especially people that really care about, communities and not self-centered type of people.
Yeah. In advance to you, Mr. Finance Minister, Mr. Enoch Godongwana, we're gonna do this for you. Look, it doesn't mean like if the Mhlanga Commission calls you at some point, like we're gonna back you up, you will still answer and go respond to whatever. But on Wednesday, we are looking for that flat 3%. Now we're floating around 3 and 6%. Please keep it at 3% so that our people can afford. There's some people are on black tax and all kinds of things. So please, a level of alleviation. So I'm going to ring the bell. You're not worthy of this award. We give this award to outstanding citizens. Let me just pull it out. And the fact that we have not afforded it to anyone in a long while, this is the Sisa Nondumo Courageous Citizen Award. We give it to an outstanding citizen in the country. You are not worthy of this one. You are just worthy of. That's all you get. Okay.
That's for Wednesday. We want that.
That's what we, Queen, thank you so much. It's next Monday again.
Always a pleasure, man. That was a good one. Yeah.
It was a very brilliant one. I'm like cutting off and chopping off, and I'm like, ooh, nugget. Ooh, that was a nugget. By the way, guys, she is.
But I miss our people. I miss our people. They need to.
I do, right?
I miss guys. What's happening? I think the commission is taking away.
Yeah. No, but I'm sure they're definitely gonna be back. We're just crossing fingers that they are back like pretty soon. I want to say this to you people before we leave.
Yep.
Read this. Right here. She is Msengana, Msengana Thobeka at gmail.com, all right? And the 073-421-336.
That I am certified. I am qualified. Yes, I am
she
in good
right.
stead.
So she has a private practice. So you need
no bogus stories. You don't have to worry.
Yeah. Quinn, thank you very much. It's been lovely. Looking forward to next Monday already. Yeah, we're gonna be speaking. There's a gent. Nah, let me not reveal now. He's an author. He's got a
Don't spoil it.
He's got a very, very brilliant book that is out. I'm not even gonna tell you I'm not even gonna tell you the title.
You will definitely spill the beans. Yeah, what's up, what hey, talk.
Okay, I'll share it with you. But like with the rest of the people, like you're just gonna have to wait. I might just put it out on our next promo for the thingy, and you will know who we're talking about. A very brilliant mind, and I'm still waiting. The copies of the book he told me were arriving today, so I look forward to that. As he had explained it earlier on to me. Quinn, it's been lovely.
Been a wonderful. Oh
So
man.
it's just now.
Okay,
Sister, you help me. You rest your ass in peace.
Yeah.
Because now we'll be like, shut up, yo. Peace, Queen.
Like, no, Masambe, no, we're done, guys, we're done.
Can you just switch off?
We're going now.
Have a great evening and a great week, Queen. And thank you, people, for watching. Subscribe, follow, all of that ish. You know this.
Please give us some love.
Thank you.